Travel along, Catholic pilgrims, as we learn from St. Augustine, Doctor of the Church, while we read his book, Confessions. Hello, Catholic pilgrims. Welcome back to another reading. Today we are reading from Book 2, Chapter 9, and let's go ahead and open to page 52 and begin. How can I explain my mood? It was certainly a very vile frame of mind and one for which I suffered. But how can I account for it? Who knows his own frailties? We were tickled to laughter by the prank we had played, because no one suspected us of it, although the owners were furious. Why was it, then, that I thought it fun not to have been the only culprit? Perhaps it was because we do not easily laugh when we are alone. True enough. But even when a man is all by himself and quite alone, sometimes he cannot help laughing if he thinks or hears or sees something especially funny. All the same, I am quite sure that I would never have done this thing on my own. My God, I lay all this before you, for it is still alive in my memory. By myself, I would not have committed that robbery. It was not the takings that attracted me, but the raid itself, and yet to do it by myself would have been no fun, and I should not have done it. This was friendship of a most unfriendly sort, bewitching my mind in an inexplicable way. For the sake of a laugh, a little sport, I was glad to do harm and anxious to damage another, and that without thought of profit for myself or retaliation for injuries received. And all because we are ashamed to hold back when others say, "Come on, let's do it." As I was preparing for this episode, I read over the reading, and the last few words are what stuck out to me. Come on, let's do it. St. Augustine says at the end, quote, "And all because we are ashamed to hold back when others say, 'Come on, let's do it,'" unquote. So I took a little time and I sat and I thought back on my life and my friendships. I can think of many times where the activities I did with my friends were good or neutral, like watching movies, playing mini golf, going line dancing, stuff like that. I can also think of many times where the activities I did with my friends were not good at all. Either I or my friends were encouraging bad behaviors. I can also think of very few times, and really only coming from family members, who called me to virtuous living, and in those times I got defensive and upset. And I can think of a precious few times that I called a friend to live virtuously and they got upset. So just like we see with St. Augustine, there is a distinctly human pattern going on in our lives. In our fallen world, we are more likely to be called to vice than virtue, and if called to virtue, the one being called is likely to get defensive. Now this speaks to our fallen human nature. We tend towards sin because it fills a temporary desire, something having to do with wealth, power, honor, or pleasure, and we get defensive when people try to call us to virtue because we like to think that we are better than we are. The remedy for this is confession, and also to cultivate wholesome friendships, which we kind of talked about last time. We want to surround ourselves with people that call us to a higher standard, not a lower one. That is all for today, Catholic pilgrims. Tomorrow we will finish Book 2. And until then, live the faith boldly and travel well.